Hi everyone, I'm just going to show you how to quickly identify whether or not your home or building are eligible for the historic homeownership rehabilitation tax credit, which is a New York State tax credit. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to this website, the Cultural Resource Information System, which is managed by the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, which administers the credit. And through which the credit is applied for. What you're going to do is you're going to come to this page here with a little disclaimer. Just go ahead and click I agree. You can just proceed as a guest. You don't need to sign into or up for anything. So just click on proceed as guest. That will then take you to this welcome page. And what you're going to want to do is just click on search, which is located up here at the top menu between submit and communicate. Click on that. And then there's a little sub menu here. It says criteria, spatial, and results. Just go ahead and click on spatial. Now what you would normally do here is you're going to see there's a couple of options here. Just for option B, you just type your address in, and that will actually zoom you down to your address, and you'll see a little red dot on top of your building. So you would normally go ahead and do that, but I'm just going to not actually type in an address. I'm just going to show you instead what to go ahead and look for. By zooming down quickly to Brooklyn, which is an area where we work a lot at Here Comes Solar, and which also has a lot of eligible areas. So what you would do is you type in your address, it would zoom you down, and then what you want to have marked here, zoom down a little bit more, a couple things you're going to have marked here. You are going to want to keep what's the National Register building listings. These are these historic, nationally registered historic zones. So you're going to want to leave that on. You're also going to want to click on qualifying census tracts, which is just a couple up from the bottom, and then go ahead and click off where it says building districts, archaeology surveys, building surveys, consultation project. You don't need that, so you might as well just click them off to avoid confusion. And what you do is you zoom down, also click off buildings, and anywhere that falls within this dark orange area, these are qualifying census tracts, of which there are many here. For instance, in Brooklyn, a huge part of central and northern Brooklyn are all qualified census tracts. And then the National Registered zones are these pink blocks that have purple outlines. So the key to finding out if you're eligible is whether or not you fall within both of those types of markers. So here's a good example here. You can see in Lefferts Gardens, a neighborhood in Brooklyn. This area here in the block is clearly within this National Registered zone, but it's not within a qualified orange qualifying census tract. So folks who lived over here would not be eligible. However, folks that live over here in the western part of the southern part, would be eligible. Other examples here, Northern Crown Heights, you can see basically the entirety of this zone here all falls within a qualified census tract. So it's easy to navigate and to find, where those areas overlap. That's just Brooklyn. There's a number of different areas in Bushwick, Sunset Park, but again, they're all clearly visible there. Parts of Queens as well. You can see big part of Jackson Heights and other areas. Northern Manhattan and Harlem and Washington Heights, there's a couple of zones and sort of some small smattering of zones here in the Bronx. But again, very easy to navigate. Now the other thing, if you fall within those two different zones, it doesn't automatically mean that you're eligible. If your building is new construction, built over the last few decades or really younger than 50 years, and if it's had really a complete renovation that's completely wiped out its historical characteristics, then it probably wouldn't be eligible. But that would ultimately be interpreted by the Office of Historic Preservation. So through the application process, they'd be able to tell you. But in general, if it's an older building, older than 50 years, still, it doesn't need to be individually landmarked or anything like that. But if it's an older building, it will generally qualify, and that'll be determined through the application process. So hopefully that answers your questions, and this has been useful. And again, just click on cris.parks.newyork.gov and follow those steps, and you should be able to figure out if you're eligible for the credit. Hope that's been helpful.